All eyes are on the federal government as the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, insists that rice importation in Nigeria will be a thing of the past 3 to 4 years from now. He said this at a leadership forum at the University of Oxford, England. Dr. Adesina said Nigeria's future, and indeed the rest of Africa, lies in agriculture. Our correspondent, Doris Okenwa, reports.
Reduce inequalities between countries.
Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, engaging with emerging African scholars and leaders from the Archbishop Tutu Leadership Fellowship at the Said Business School, Oxford University, England. He shares with the group milestones in Nigeria's bold policies and institutional reforms on transforming agriculture into a revenue and job-spinning sector. Dr. Adesina believes that Africa's future lies in the innovative mobilization of its land and labor capital as a means to achieving inclusive growth. He encourages these future leaders to champion this cause.
It's got to be an Africa that's very prosperous, but that has inclusive growth. It can't just be one in which we have GDP growing, people don't eat GDP.
Yeah.
The inclusive growth process that Africa needs must be one that carries hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. And the way to do that is to get agriculture working in every single African country as a business, not as a way of life.
Low human capital development amidst infrastructural deficits is a shared challenge across Africa. These scholars agree that a rising GDP does little for actual poverty eradication, and they are geared up to reshape Africa's economic future.
The GDP doesn't put bread on the table. It doesn't feed people. And it's just a word that we throw around now as if because we've ticked that box, so people's lives should have changed along with it, which is not the case.
We're never going to change the people that are there in our politics. So it requires us getting in that environment and being the change that we want to see.
We need to unlock the potentials, especially in agriculture. Agriculture is not just a way of life, it's a business in which we need to engage in.
Meanwhile, Dr. Adesina says Nigeria is a few years away from ending rice importation.
We have right now over 6 million farmers cumulatively that are growing these new varieties. We have 2 million hectares under new rice varieties in Nigeria. And so with the new investment coming in from Dangote, from Olam and so on, I believe that in 3 or 4 years, Nigeria will be next exporter of rice.
Nigeria's federal government has a target of creating millions of jobs from agriculture by 2015. That's 3 months from now. Part of this includes changing the general perception about agriculture as an unfashionable means of livelihood. From Oxford, England, Doris Okenwa, reporting for Channels Television News.
To ensure self-reliance towards socio-economic developments, the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosun, has embarked on community empowerment for the less privileged in society. The program, which will take the wife of the governor to all 20 local government areas of the state, starting from the Ogun West Senatorial District. Our correspondent, Oreoluwa Shunibare, reports.
Wife of the Ogun State Governor and the team are here to empower the ordinary citizens. A feat, they say, would not only impact on the lives of hundreds of people gathered here, but also improve the economy of the state through the activities of those empowered. Items distributed here by Mrs. Olufunke Amosun include deep freezers, motorcycles, grinding machines, and other cooking utensils.
We want to go to all the 20 local government areas across Ogun State to empower our women, to empower our youth, and to empower community members in general to make them self-sufficient. We know that there are not enough white-collar jobs out there, so we're saying to people that despite that, you can still earn a living from small-scale businesses, and so we've come to provide them with cash stipends and small-scale business startup kits just to encourage them to go out there and earn a living.
Thousands of people are to benefit from this program built for the entire 20 local government areas in the state. And the beauty of this, according to the brains behind it, is that anyone could be chosen irrespective of his or her political bids.
It's not a party affair I mean, the governor belongs to a party, the wife too supports her husband. So it's not really a party affair. It's targeting the people, the poorest of the poor, the elders.
The item that handed over to the beneficiaries with a promise to do more once they are put into proper use by ensuring that the items are well utilized. Orolu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
Hundreds of residents of erosion sites in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, have been displaced and rendered homeless. Property worth millions of naira have also been lost to what the residents describe as a humanly masterminded environmental threat. They're now seeking the intervention of the federal and state governments as well as international organizations. Tonight's Community Report takes a look at communities in Calabar South Local Government Area and Calabar Municipality and how they're dealing with the erosion nightmare.
To some in Cross River State, the rainy season is a blessing. But to many residents of erosion-prone areas, it is a period of sleepless nights, especially when it rains consistently for many days. This nightmare has been recurring for many years, and hundreds of houses were washed away, leaving behind awesome sites of erosion. Some of these erosion-devastated areas are Timbo, Edometop, Bibosco, Ikorium 2, Ikorifangangpa, Ikoromin, the Murtala Mohammed Highway, among many others. The victims' cries on the issue are endless.
All the water from the highway, all road, passes through here. And you need to witness when we have a heavy downpour. It's like an ocean roaring past. So that's why it has swept away. No house is safe here again, except there's an intervention.
No road people to pass, to move, to enter market.
How long has this place been like this?
It don't stay too much. It don't stay.
It don't reach like how many years?
It's more than 40 years. Them no put hand, them no do anything. Here to here, them they snap this place. They don't do anything with us.
The erosion menace is believed to be a natural disaster in some communities, but definitely not for residents of Ikoremin, who have attributed the major cause of erosion to man's inhumanity to the environment.
Well, it's just very unfortunate because when I got a land here, there was nothing like this. The whole place was, very far off from even the small drain here. But because of constant excavation of sand, by some community boys down there, it's helping the water to extend the cutting. The water is pushing to the wall of this small drain, and you can see that this drain is already down. So as a result of it, all the water that comes from agro-feed here is dropping here. This now helping her to extend the cutting more than how it was.
For the Cross River State government, putting in place a long-term master plan to forestall erosion problems in the state is top on the list of its priorities.
Today, we have a system where we do action planning. We don't just embark on projects for the sake of embarking on them. We sit down, we do thorough planning, we have an action plan, and we pair our action plan with the budget. We've drawn budgets that span not just 1 year, but a couple of years, and we are hopeful that any administration that comes will not find it difficult to continue from where this administration is going to stop.
While the state government tries its bid on interventions on some of the sites, the government is also appealing to the World Bank to hasten work at some selected erosion sites for intervention in order to avert more disasters.
And now to the arts. Encouraging young hands to grow is the inspiration behind the resource place in Lagos. The curator, Wale Fasuye, is also passionate about showcasing variety of artworks from different parts of the African continent. Art Review tonight takes a look at the African art that has found a home in the resource place.
The collection at the Resource Place is like a visual feast which is sure to keep any art enthusiast satisfied. Art pieces from every nook and cranny, not only on the African continent, but from far and wide, meet in this room. The person that ensures this union takes place is Wale Fasui, the owner of this gallery.
What has always tickled me is how the various art schools in Nigeria have become very preeminent in their own styles. If you go to the Auchi school, you know they are very good for painting and for carving. If you go to the Ife school, they have their own nuances. If you go to the Nsuka school, so what we do is look at those schools generally and try to pick one or two works from them and put them together.
He takes us through the collection, which has lots of stories about Asian art practices in other countries and a passion to ensure a legacy doesn't go to waste. A good example is this antique mask series from East and Central Africa, which dates back to over 70 years. Sourced from remote villages of Kamba and Bajun tribes in Kenya and from the Shahad tribe in Congo-Brazzaville.
Some are from Tanzania, some are from Kenya, Malawi, Congo-Brazzaville, and they are what you call collector's items. They are antique pieces, and I intend to get more of them. I also have pieces from Cameroon, I have pieces from Togo, I have pieces from Côte d'Ivoire. From this series we're seeing now, there are some, that is Mali, and the other one I think is about, I'm not sure, the Gambia. So a lot of pieces are from Africa. What I try to do is make sure that the collections are not limited to Nigeria. Okay. Let my collection be, at least have an African spread.
Another fascinating piece is the banjo player by J. Ovie, produced in 2008. The intricate form and superb finishing stands it out.
If you look at it critically, you see that it's somebody playing the banjo. It's one of the pieces I hold very dearly. But the detail to finish is very, very encouraging. This one is from an artist called Mwanyi. I picked this up from Ibadan, about 4 years ago. It's called Nigerian Diversity. So you see the Yoruba drummer, behind him is the Igbo flutist, and you see the Hausa man playing the goje. So it captures the unity in Nigeria through music.
It all depends on what statement you are trying to make with whatever subject matter. Like this is titled Nostalgia, the reminiscence of what had been in place compared to what we have now. And I tell you, this has received a global recognition. Wherever you find it, you just reckon with it that this is how Lagos used to be. And it's also point to the fact that a change is possible.
Other interesting pieces is the double horse rider by Abiodun Badmus, done with a burning wood and engraving technique. And that's the intriguing thing about this space. Anything that comes through these doors has to have something unique about it.
I look at art from various dimensions. I look at it from the very traditional dimension, and I look at it from the cosmopolitan dimension. So when we are selecting artists that we want to showcase, we go deep into their works. We ask them to bring about 3 or 4 of their works, and then we select the best 5.
Mr. Fasui is very picky about this collection, but there's always room for artists who are able to bring that dream to reality at the Resource Place.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Liverpool crushes Tottenham 3-0 at White Hart Lane as Aston Villa maintains unbeaten run. That's in sports news. Please stay with us.